Apple, Google, Apple, Google, Apple, Google. That's kinda what we've been hearing in recent times because of how good their cameras perform, as well as being two of the newest big brand releases. Time to put that aside for a couple of videos and branch out into the Asian market. We've got the Xiaomi Mi 12 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and the Huawei P50 Pro. The weather has been quite sunny these last few days, so you will be seeing positive differences in the footage. Time to let the facts speak. Since the weather is quite sunny, it will be quite important to see which phone will be able to handle the light. Even though smartphone cameras are known to take better photos when there is more light, it's not always the case when you take the reflections and glare into account. When the sun directly hits the face, I found that the P50 Pro gave better results than the S22 Ultra and the Mi 12 Pro. Xiaomi's losing a lot of detail around my face, whether it's just smoothing out the image or blowing it up because of the light. And Samsung is a similar issue because, as you know from our recent comparison, there are some problems with the lack of brightness. Now, Huawei does use a lot of sharpening for its images. That's not necessarily a good thing in my opinion, but it does help the details be more visible when the competition is directly struggling with this. But one thing that it's not better at, when directly compared to Samsung, is color. The Galaxy's visuals are just beautiful, which we will be seeing more in the portrait photo section. There's barely any color reconstruction needed, and the images are way softer compared to the other two. To me, the S22 Ultra and the P50 Pro are overall quite close, while the Mi 12 Pro is a step behind them concerning photos taken with the wide and the ultra-wide camera, while seeing what I just mentioned about the portrait photos. It feels like I'm comparing the iPhone to two other phones that wouldn't be able to compete with it, and it's time for the Galaxy to enjoy this superiority. Xiaomi's photos look pretty nice for social media, to be honest, with aggressive bokeh and smooth features to make you look picture perfect. But the issue is it too smooth? When you start to lose details around the face and start thinking if there's any filter applied, then it might be a little too much. On the other side though, I'm unable to even evaluate photos taken by the P50 Pro because in half of them, my hair is missing like someone took a bite out of it. It also doesn't help that the bokeh is not that good. The feel of a portrait photo just isn't there, and the software isn't able to match up to the Mi 12 Pro, which will be taking second place, right after the S22 Ultra, which by far takes the best portrait photos between the three. For video, it isn't all that different, besides the fact that these phones can also shoot in 8K. So we decided to give you some extra stuff in the form of some 4K videos, as well as an 8K one to see the future of videography. But do we? I don't think so. For a phone at this level, the Mi 12 Pro seems to have a lot of hiccups. For one, the 4K footage is extremely inconsistent. You've got decent colors and stable footage in a couple of shots, but the rest is just terrible. Don't even know what I'm looking at when 8K hits the screen either, almost as if I'm shooting in black and white. I think it's safe to assume that 8K still has a way to go, but besides this, the Mi 12 Pro's video quality is obviously disappointing. The P50 Pro is decent, but can only be decent when compared to the S22 Ultra, which has great color and consistency. Samsung will be continuing its performance and stabilization as well, as you can clearly see the improvements to the S21 Super Stable mode. The Xiaomi Mi 12 Pro has two modes of stabilization, and even though we chose the one that is supposedly the better one, the performance we saw didn't really reflect any of that. The Huawei P50 Pro was also constantly focusing in and out, being unable to keep the focus on me even though I'm literally right in front of the rear cameras. Not even a contest at this point, as Samsung will easily take this category, and I'll give second place to Xiaomi since at least their software can keep the camera still, while the Huawei has me jumping all over the place and also having focus issues. So for zoom, maybe you already know that we're waiting for the Ultra version of Mi 12. The Mi 12 Pro wasn't really built for this and quickly starts losing detail the more you move in. The colors are also quite dull, whereas the S22 Ultra is the exact opposite with very punchy and contrasty colors. The P50 Pro is right in the middle and I must say has better quality than either of the devices besides the amazing 10x telephoto lens quality of the Galaxy. Max zooms aren't really usable, but at least you know what you're looking at, which could be seen as a plus. The Galaxy and the P50 Pro are tied for first, while the Mi 12 Pro comes after with a lack of adequate zooming quality. The exact opposite of the zoom function would be the macro, and this part was actually quite frustrating. You see, in our comparison of the P50 Pro against the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the Pixel 6 Pro, we mentioned that the macro mode was straight up not working properly. It had an amazing macro mode until the point you got too close and the lens suddenly switched to focus on something else, leaving it unusable. The same problem kept persisting, and it was incredibly frustrating to be unable to use this feature or having to fiddle around for 5 minutes to maybe get one decent macro shot. Xiaomi gave us a better experience, but couldn't get close as the other two without getting extremely blurry. As it's become a habit, Samsung has really done a lot of stuff right with their new flagship. You can get extremely close to an image and still retain focus and good detail, which we'll see it winning this section as well, with Xiaomi and Huawei taking second place together since both of them have plenty of problems that need to be resolved. Slow motion is pretty straightforward, with all of these devices being able to shoot 960 frames per second, so what's more important in this situation is the video quality. Samsung's footage is very pixelated and I kind of expected them to make a better slow motion feature, but you can't win them all. Xiaomi along with Huawei have done a better job of keeping the video quality higher than Samsung here, as they'll be tied for first with Samsung coming in after. So as usual, we're just doing our thing, taking a walk in the park, taking some nice pictures, and we decided that it's the perfect time to do the audio test. The three competitors of this video is going to be the Xiaomi Mi 12 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and the Huawei P50 Pro. Tell us what you think in the comments about the differences in audio and which one is your favorite. Even though I said that the Galaxy S22 Ultra's audio quality was worse than the iPhone 13 Pro Max and especially the Pixel 6 Pro, it seems to have an easier time pushing out good quality sound along with adequate noise cancellation compared to the Mi 12 Pro and the P50 Pro. Huawei is close with the quality, but less noise cancellation will put it in second place after Samsung, and Xiaomi will be taking third place. I fully expected this to be a tighter race, and I definitely like to hear some comments from you guys on why the result ended with Samsung coming in really clutch. Is it because their phones are just too good to be true, or did Xiaomi and Huawei not meet your expectations? The points only tell one side of the story, but I must say, it is quite the definitive story that I can't see in any other way. The Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra is the clear winner here with 23 points, while the Huawei P50 Pro will come in second with 17 points. The Xiaomi Mi 12 Pro will take third with only 15 points. Samsung clearly showed us what their new and improved flagship can do, and as software updates continue to roll in, we can only expect their camera and features to get even better. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and sub to the channel to keep supporting us. Thanks in advance guys, and I'll see you in the next video.